You kept us quite busy yesterday during our show Weekend Deal. We were quite excited. You enlarged our depth of field with your contributions from different parts of our great country, Nigeria. We also got some information from outside our shores. It tells us that great people, patriots like you and I, are watching this program keenly and want to be a part of better development progress for our great country, Nigeria. Of course, you know, we're discussing shortchanging Nigerians with special focus on financial institutions. My name is Thelma Obazi, and as always, my trainee banker is in the house, and we're going to ride this rodeo together as usual. Oh, hello, Pepe. Hey, you know King Bankish.
Good. I'm just looking for the money to commiserate with the look now.
Bibi, like below Banky.
To that I say amen. Who knows, it can happen.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah. So, hello. It is your favorite weekend show, Weekend Deal, coming to you from the network service of the NTA. And like Thelma rightly said, it's been all about you this weekend. A look at shortchanging Nigerians and narrowing it down to the financial institution.
Okay, our PhD there, deep. Our yoga doctor. It's not a small something. And deep, it's not a small something. We're never too busy for you. See these hands? They are always coming together for you. Left to right, right to left. How are you doing it, my dear?
Somehow.
Somehow. Dr. Deep, please take us through some yoga moves today.
Raise your knee, walk towards your trunk. Namaste. Hello to everyone. I am Diptiranjan Mohanty, a trained yoga teacher from High Commission of India, Abuja. She is Tinasi. Now we practice Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, alternate nostril breathing or psychic network purification. Those who are suffering from fever, flu, cold, they should not practice this pranayama. Now sit in any cross-leg posture or any meditative posture. Hands on the knees. Keep your head, neck and back in a straight line. Relax your whole body. Now close your right nostril through your right thumb. Breathe in through left nostril. Breathe out through left. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do it 5 times with closed eyes. Close your left nostril through your ring finger. Now breathe in through right nostril. Breathe out through right. Inhalation and exhalation should be 1:1 ratio. Don't make sounds when you inhale. Don't make sound when you exhale. Slow and deep in long inhalation. Nadi Shodhana Pranayam, psychic network purification. It removes minor blockages from nose and the flow of breath in both nostrils become more balanced. Breathing through the left nostril tends to active the right brain hemisphere, and breathing through the right nostril activates the left hemisphere. So it balances both the hemisphere of our brain. It reduces stress, anxiety and insomnia. It calms down our mind and increases the oxygen level of our blood. Thank you for joining this yoga session. See you next time.
Raise your knee, walk towards your trunk.
Bend your knee, take the breath, stretch out, and be healthy. Thank you, Mr. Deep.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste, Deep. Always allowing us to relax before the show. Okay, like we told you, it's all about the banking sector. How are Nigerians faring? But it is time for a break. So with the yoga breathing, let's take a break and relax. Am I relaxing?
I'm very relaxed. Breathe in.
Break.
It's your favorite show on the weekend, Weekend Deal, where we bring topical issues to the family table. And we'll tell you, it's all about you. So we need your contribution, real time. Send them in. Patience is standing, sitting. The iPad is ready. Just keep sending your messages. We'll take as many as we can. And the earlier they come, the better. But before we begin to reel out your messages, you do know that we always set the tone with a background feature. Our dear Uju has been working the whole week. She was seeking out guests, expert guests, who can bring to the fore expert and authentic information to add value to our conversation. Uju, we saw you at work. Please share.
Banks have navigated terrains evolving into the new era of online banking services, where customers hardly have to handle cash.
We need to understand is that these financial institutions also engage in a lot of literacy campaign. I've seen a lot of them that will set up stands in the local areas and talk to people. This is how you use the application, this is what you do. And at the same time, I think the devices we're using nowadays are becoming friendlier and easier to use. So no matter the level of literacy of the user, I mean, as you mentioned, the market women, the palm wine tapper, the cobbler. My grandmother, my old grandma used to say, Barclays Bank. Remember Barclays to Union Bank in the 60s, 70s, but my grandmother used to say Barclays. Yeah, so rest in peace. So, yes, it's a matter of concern, but I think the issue is sensitization, educating them, and also making the services easy to use. The devices easier to use. All of this will collectively enable us to carry along everybody without leaving any part of the society behind.
With the help of online banking, we've been able to reduce these charges, and with businesses, this really helped in reducing the cost of expenses and also boosting profits for the businesses. Now, some ways in which the online bank has also supported with these charges is either they've reduced this charge to the barest minimum or even zero at the moment, right? For example, we're looking at costs of the charges. So in regards to transaction, we have online bankers that do almost free transfer without any charge. But in regards to going to what we call the traditional bank, we have to go to the bank first. That involves transportation to get there. When we get in there, you have to get a teller to make a transfer. And in those tellers, some of those charges are even hidden, in which you might not even know that you're going to pay charges for that. So some of these charges that we've really experienced in traditional bank with the help of online bank have either been reduced to the barest minimum or even not available at the moment.
It is Weekend Deals business to bring to the knowledge of you, our viewer, benefits of these services.
Thinking about the challenges should not deter us. The benefits are huge. It makes a lot of what we're doing easier. We're able to deliver services. I don't know if you've seen these animations when you go to online. You want to do something and it goes through the process very easily. It's easier than you reading a book or reading a novel. So AI is going to be helping us to do a lot of things. And don't forget that even where AI takes away monotonous, repetitive work, there's still a lot of knowledge-based services, knowledge-based activities that will still exist, that we're still able to do. And I would imagine that where AI possibly takes away some manual, laborious, repetitive work, those people, those users will be retrained in knowledge-based skills, in knowledge-based activities, and we all should be able to enjoy the benefit of AI without worrying too much about the side effects.
Welcome to Weekend Deal. Let us deal money matters, banks, banking, and bank regulators.
Oh, thank you so much, Uju. You see how I asked the question at the beginning of the show, and I said, how can the Apex Bank and even the banks make the banking landscape more customer-friendly? Our next contribution from NTA Calabar, which is consumer protection, fair banking practices, safeguarding customers from excessive charges, will be answering this question. Don't go away.
When I started noticing that my money has dropped, at some point I was like, if this should be from the bank or something. So I went to the bank and I make inquiry. They asked me to come with my name, which I went there with, but the name was changed. Like my name, instead of the initial name that was there, a name was just changed. So since then, I got angry and never went back there again.
There was a time my wife complained to me that 30,000 naira from her account was deducted. And as that was not enough, 70 was deducted again. So when I asked her to get to the bank and find out, she got there and they were telling her it's like she bought something online and all of that. That's wrong.
This is the reason the government has established regulatory agencies in the banking sector. These agencies, which include the Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, among others, are saddled with the responsibility to ensuring that government-formulated policies aimed at protecting the populace against unfair practices by the business community are implemented to the latter.
The money is very, very small and you tend to forget it. But they owe us that duty to ensure that they communicate to us each transaction that is occurring in our bank, stating the reason, the why. For God's sake, they are using our money to trade. So we are expected to be communicated to the organizations that are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that the consumers are protected, are working as seriously to ensure that citizens are treated and well taken care of by these merchants.
It is the expectation of every customer that all deposits should be properly protected, and prompt communication is necessary in case of charges or any deduction in the banking sector.
Bankers should monitor should monitor our account. Since we are trusting them with our money, they should be able to keep it safe for us.
Whatever amount you need to deduct from somebody, it must be communicated. You send him a text message, you maybe throw a phone and all of that. Let him know what he's being charged for.
There is no need for unwarranted charges in the first place. Communicate these charges from the beginning to our customers and they know. So we've not had issues of overcharging customers or even undercharging customers.
While in practice, the bankers should ensure that the guiding regulations are upheld, as unwholesome practices are derogatory to the sector.
It helps us to be in check, to always know what is expected of us. So we work with that regulation to ensure that we don't go against it, because if you go against it, you'll be sanctioned.
As citizens, as customers in the banking sector, ensure that you monitor, even if it is 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, if it is hard-earned money. Ask them, why are you doing this? It is my money. Explain to me. And they owe you that duty to do it. You have to be vigilant.
The banking sector has been one of the propelling factors to a thriving economy, hence the need for practitioners to promote customer-centered operations.
Interesting. We just listened to NTA Calabar's contribution to our discourse today, and we heard that human rights lawyer saying, no matter how little the amount is, it's my hard-earned resource. You need to manage it well for my benefit, not someone else's. Our first set of guests are in the house. to bring their expert knowledge to our discourse today to prefer solutions for our topic. And that's how we meet, greet, and welcome an economics and financial analyst, a forensics auditor, a chartered accountant, and a retired senior manager of the Central Bank of Nigeria. We'll get to see his profile.
Welcome to the Weekend Deal Studio, sir.
Thank you very much for having me again.
Oh, well, it's always a pleasure. Yeah. Okay, so joining us is another wonderful guest. He's a former banker, a human rights activist, and a private legal practitioner. He is Ahmed Tanimu Abubakar. Let's see his profile.
It's great to have you with us on Weekend Deal today as we talk about shortchanging Nigerians with special focus on financial institutions. We say we can't assume if Nigerians are being shortchanged. It's not for us to say. That's why we have experts like you in the studio. So let me start with you, Dr. Aheruvo. We began this conversation yesterday, but when we saw our background feature today and then our journey into Cross River State with that packet from Calabar, we heard that the human rights activist, the lawyer, was saying that little matter how small it is, they may look down on some of the sums that Nigerians cry about, but it's their hard-earned resource. We shouldn't let it go. I guess yesterday also opined that Nigerians must do their due diligence and be ready to follow through with any complaints they have. We brought up typical complaints that can come up. Most of it is that soft charge. People say it comes too often and it's increasing by the second.
In size.
And people are suggesting that with all the investments you do with our resources, why do you still need to charge us? Why don't you use the returns from that?
Okay, it's quite simple. The bank have what is called banker's tariff for everything they do. And it is expected that every person knows about this banker's tariff. Not all services are chargeable. Some are not chargeable, some are free, some are charged at a minimum, some are charged at a percentage. However, the bank these days just throw figures at you and consume your money. And it's to their credit and it's to their benefit. Because if you charge 50 naira times 1 million people in a day, you have gotten 50 million without doing anything. So that's why at the end of the year, they declare huge profits. But to tame this, the people who are involved should also be ready to take it up. I know that if you want to take it up criminally, it is going to be difficult because the police or the law enforcement agents may not have time for that. What is 15 naira that you are complaining of?
Exactly.
But in a sane situation, in a sane environment, even if it is 1 kobo, I remember that I left a change of
5 pence or 6 pence now in UK, and the person say, no, you must take your change so that you don't bring a complaint tomorrow. So it's a pence. But in Nigeria, if it is even 100 naira, you say, leave it. It depends
Sometimes
on the attitude.
They will help you to leave it.
And if you insist on it, they'll say,
why are you not a big man?
Big man like this,
So it is left for the citizens themselves to ask for their rights and to pursue it. And CBN have a central place called Customers Complaint Department. It's a whole department, and they are supposed to handle such things too and check the banks. However, this is just micro in the sense that it is on an individual basis. But let's look at what the banks are doing to the economy as a whole, to the nation, which is macro, which affects me and you that we don't even know.
Please be our voice.
Now, to tell you the fact that the Nigerian financial system is in a deep, dead, and decay situation. We must know that because there is the regulatory system is weak. It is like the bankers are now the master, because they have an upper hand in such a way that it's like they are the one controlling central bank, not central bank controlling them. So we have this very serious problem on ground, and for that reason they do whatever they like. And take for granted, we could go on and on that because the bankers feel free, when they commit an infraction and you tell them this is an infraction you've committed, they will tell you, it's not just 1 million naira penalty. I have made 10 million naira already on that transaction, so why not I pay 1 million? So the consequences of their infractions are small. I remember that when I was in Central Bank, we have a penalty regime that was to come in. But the guy handling it died in a plane crash, and that thing died with him. A penalty regime that will state that if you commit an offense, you will pay serious fine and you will still return the profit you make out of it.
As sad as we are about his demise, how many years ago was that? And up to now, no wonder it's
nobody is assuming it.
Thank God, you're a former banker, a legal practitioner, a human rights activist. Nigerians are groaning under the pain of how the banking system is. Please react to this.
I would not want to say I disassociate myself with the comments. Rather, I identify with it. And
oh, you do?
Because you're a customer as well.
No, I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
When you say majorities, when you look at it, you want to cascade it from those staff working and the actual owners of the bank. If you have people that have been accused of stealing, looting government resources, and they find their way into the banking sector by owning the bank. So now, what do you expect from someone that lacks character, somebody that is responsible for liquidating government institutions, looting, and you now try to use the same channel of financial institution for money laundering? They are now investing their business in banking. So now they will create a heaven where other looters will now find their way into it. So in terms of regulation, when I say all, I mean all. I'm not making exception. There is a weak regulatory regime. Yeah, I was just speaking with Dr. Webb before coming. I said, when I was in the bank, I wrote a lot of petitions, even when I left. And the response I get is, you just look the other way around. Banks are cooking figures. When I mean cooking figures, apart from the salami concept, here is that we are reporting what does not, in the actual sense. You have given loan, the customers are not paying, but in your system you are reflecting that they are paying. You are charging, you are declaring profit on transaction that the customer is not even paying down, so that you can now recoup people's money, because banking is about financial intermediation. You take from surplus, you give those in need, and you make something out of it. You have given out and the person is not repaying, and you are still trying to make your books to look fancy. You see a bank that has been audited, you have a visitation from the central bank, and shortly afterwards, the bank is collapses. So it means something is not
Something
adding
is
up.
not right there.
Something is not right there. That's the cooking. What they do, they call it armchair banking. As a banker, you are supposed to help in growing the economy. You give people that needs financing. All of us here have, maybe we call it side hustle, you have business ideas, and you need resources for it. But the bankers or the banks that as currently have now, they are not interested in it. They don't want to take risks. They just want profit, 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 profit. They sit in their offices, armchair banking. So now if you are not going out to look for new businesses, to look for promising business so that you can grow them and you form part of not only giving loan, you can even inject your equity in it and you make humongous profit. There are clean businesses that banks can do, but they are not looking at that. They are more interested in using all those means. Let me share a scenario to you on a daily basis. Because we all have all these facets of our economy is being challenged, or even our life in Nigeria is challenged. So if you want to make telephone conversation, you are doing online payment, something else, there will be incidences where the transaction will not be consummated, and you'll be debited.
Yes, it happens
It
all the
runs
time.
into billions, and those billions are being kept in the bank. As a banker, if you own a bank, will you be interested in returning such kind of money? You
are utilizing it.
You are utilizing, and nobody is regulating the bank to say, why are you keeping 10 billion of people's money that you got from failed transaction? The bankers are quite powerful.
We've identified that there are challenges, but we don't want Nigerians to start keeping their money under their mattresses. We want to prefer solutions to looming challenges so we don't have a disaster on our hands. When we come back, let's look to solutions, provision that the common man can identify with, and we can move forward with that. You're watching Weekend Deal. Thank you so much for being there. Send your messages in so we can have real life examples to share with our experts in the house. A break beckons now, but we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it is Weekend Deal, and our focus is on shortchanging Nigerians, and we're narrowing it down to the financial sectors. Your messages are coming in their numbers. We'll try and take some of them, and then our guests will respond. One says, thank you for this opportunity on the issue affecting customers in banks. Please, why do some banks deny pensioners access to loan facilities even when the government comes in as a guarantor as sureties? For example, we call a particular name of a bank, says giving loan facility is against CBN Act. Is this true? Okay. Good morning, Weekend Deal. As it stands now, since on the 6th of this month, I paid 15K to my account through roadside POS, and the money has not entered into my account. I have gone to the bank twice, and they have not sorted it out. It shows approved on the POS machine. What should I do? Since I have gone to my bank twice and nothing happened. My name is Chukwu Emeka Francis. It's quite painful that the banks are being castigated as if they are Father Christmas. This is another opinion. It is quite painful that the banks are being castigated as if they are Father Christmas. Remember, they have to pay salaries, huge electricity bill, maintenance of the system, security, a host of other logistics so that your money is safe. All this costs so much money. Do not forget that provisions are also made for bad debts. So as long as these charges are to be borne by the bank customers, must be prepared to pay. Bank customers, they are saying, somebody is writing here, we must pay. Good morning, NTA. Okay, some very insulting words here. I can't read them for the banks. Okay, so many people are angry. Okay. These bankers, you're upset. Please keep your language clean.
Okay? No matter what, we're here to prefer solutions with our analysts in the house.
Please take it easy. We know we're all in the same pain. Please, the bankers should lie less in their technicalities. The fact is that bankers are no longer transparent. Why you withdraw your account? Why do you withdraw your account is debited instant? When you withdraw, your account is debited instantly. But when you are being paid, then it takes time for you to receive any credit alert. This is sent from Gentle Effect. Okay, let's deal with that. One, pensioners not getting loans. I know, and some of them are young. Regulation.
That's a total lie.
Oh.
CBN will not describe any human being or any class of human being not to receive loan. Once his application is genuine, he has his collateral, and he is reputable to get the loan and is qualified as a human being, he should get a loan anywhere, anytime, as long as he can pay. If you want to persist, you persist, but there is no need persisting. Move your account from there to another bank. Who will know what to do? They will
I'll be more
you.
friendly.
Yes.
I'll be more loan friendly. Okay, there were other issues you brought up, Patient.
Okay,
Now,
yes. People,
the issue of charges.
Yes.
As I said, you have a banker's tariff. You should be able to know what is chargeable and what is not chargeable. And onto CBN, I want to say that His Excellency, the Governor of Central Bank now, Mr. Kodoso, has a lot to do with the regulatory department. The banking supervision, the office, other financial institution supervision, then the FPRD, Financial Policy Regulatory Department, they need to work together and regulate these charges on a very serious note. The weeding in the bank is a good thing at the right time.
So weeding?
Yes, that is the sacking of people in the bank. It's a good thing at the right time, but it should not be replaced with non-professionals. It should not be replaced with political patronizers or political patronage.
What about contract staff?
Contract staffs should not last more than 1 year. And that means that they are there for just a season to be unbundled into the mainstream. That's what it should be. If there is a need for contract staff at all. Initially, I knew that Central Bank frowned at contract staffs. That is more than 2 years. Even in the banks, the development finance should profile a strategic investment opportunities, especially in industries that is located in 6 geopolitical zones that are according to their comparative advantage, which will create employment. Because the major problem we have, the economic quagmire is having on us, is that employment is draining every day. So the people should, make a conscious effort. Central Bank should make a conscious effort. Not like the former intervention they did, and we lost trillions.
We need to take a feature now. Maybe we'll talk about training. Should the bank staff even be trained and retrained? But Dayo has been doing some research about regulatory oversight, just in line with what you're saying, ensuring fairness and accountability in banking, all with a view to making customers more secure, making banking more convenient and more comfortable for them. Dayo, it's your turn. Share what you found.
The critical one is the Central Bank of Nigeria, which is created by the CBN Act of 2007. And that repealed the 1958 Act, which is an old one that the Central Bank has. And the mandate it gave the Central Bank is to regulate the supply, value, and quantity of money in circulation. So that's why you see it's branching into ensuring that the exchange rate does not impact negatively on the currency. It's also ensuring that the volume and supply of money, that's why it's getting involved in the cash reserve ratios that is actually, that the banks used to have, and the reserve they keep with the central bank, all just to ensure that there is a balance. Another regulator is the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, and that one is created by the Act of NDIC Act of 2006. What it does is to insure banks themselves. All licensed bank is insured by NDIC, and that's what in fact, their functions give more confidence to customers to bank with the bank, because they know that in the event anything happens, NDIC will insure them and return back a substantial part of the money which they have. it's not enough that a bank is performing its fiduciary responsibility of providing credit, collecting money, saving it, investing it, and all the rest. Customers must be sure that their money is not going to one day wipe away. And so that's NDIC provides that confidence that the customer needs. Beyond that is the fact that, look, there must be some form of level of confidence in the market for investors to come and put their money. So maybe the Nigerian Stock Exchange, I didn't mention, the Central Bank of Nigeria, all of them have got a role to play in it. One other thing it does is that it stabilizes the market. It also prevents fraudulent activities. If banks are not being regulated, you'll be surprised what they will turn the shareholders' money in doing. They might get involved with ultra-vile business that is not of their own, in the name of trying to declare a high dividend for their shareholders. So these are some of the reasons why you need regulations within the banking system. Provide security, protection for the customers, provide security for the investors, provide stability for the financial system itself, and also prevent fraud, as it were, generally. They are doing a lot, because if you go back to 2015, the central bank received no less than about 6,000 complaints from customers of banks. In that particular year alone, they charged bank more than 600 million naira to be refunded back to customers as part of the surcharge which they actually took. That was in 2023. In fact, in 2022, they charged more than, they penalized them more than 6 billion naira. And we're dealing with almost a lot of banks here. The key 5 banks are involved in it. In terms of enforcement, I think it's the central bank. First is that, look, we expect the customers themselves. You know, if you sleep over your rights, nobody will do anything about it. Even if I know about it, you need to bring it to the notice of those who enforce it for you. And so that's where the customers themselves and investors need to also have to become more learned about those things. The provisions are there, but if you don't bring it up, nobody will do anything about it. Lodge your complaint with the bank itself, or you go to any of these regulators, file in a formal report, and I'm sure they will respond to you as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. The complaints are coming in their hundreds, trust me. But, Barrister, moving forward, what should people do? Their monies are not being remitted, you do failed transaction. Can we sue? Where do we run to?
Any relationship with a bank is a contract, so you have every right and to sue the bank, and then you get remedy from the court. But as you know it, our system in every facet is overburdened. They are not working well. The courts are overburdened with very serious life and death cases. So what we advise and suggest is that the judiciary, in collaboration with the central bank, they should have a special court, a small court, whereby issues of even if it is 15 naira, just the way you have mobile court that the police will just have. So banks should be brought to those mobile court. The legalism need to be reduced. You don't need too much of lawyers or anything. Any individual, they should be more of a tribunal where you have retired bankers that work in the legal department, people in compliance unit, people in central bank, and maybe a magistrate, a lawyer. Then they could sit on that across board in the whole states, local governments, whereby small claims, the moment there is a claim, you have written a letter, you visited the bank, you should go to the mobile banking court, and the fine should be very huge on the bank. All these problems that we're having is because the central bank have failed in its responsibility. Then secondly, you need to invest more in infrastructure, IT. I worked in a bank where the software that I was meant to use, the IT people could not give me the data that I needed because the software that they purchase is a substandard software. So central bank now needs to now compel banks on the need to upgrade that. It should not be about profiting. It should be a standard, a minimum standard that they should not allow banks to go on. So that if there's a transaction, an alert should be sent, a timing should be, a tracker should be equally generated so that you know that this transaction has failed, it's not been consummated, it needs to be reversed within 24 hours. If it doesn't go within 24 hours, what are the consequences? And thirdly, banks, the central bank should come up with a policy that banks should not be allowed to keep such funds of failed transaction. If it is more than 10, maybe 2 working days, 3 working days, they should revert those funds into the entries and the monies. They should move it to warehouse it with the central bank so that you should not continue to do business and make profit out of it.
Give us your closing word.
So now the fact is that I want to advise that all this blame will eventually come to CBN. Therefore, they should not see it as being witch hunts. They should sit down and do a good job. And the banks should be warned that the time of effective regulation is coming. So they should not cry wolf. We are not saying that they are not business entity. They are business entity expected to make profit, but please make a genuine profit. Don't twist people's fund and get rich by force. It's against the law of God and against the law of man. So we should keep to what we can do effectively. Because if they are doing the right banking instead of armchair banking, as my brother have said, they will equally be benefiting. There is no long-term funding in this country. That is why industries are not established. So they should find a way of making sure that this economy is running and running smoothly. And the bankers should be responsible to that. They should establish a long-term funding of between 20 years and 40 years in such a way that people can get this loan, establish industries, give employment opportunity to people. We have over millions of graduates that are not working. That is a sad case. That increases crime and make Boko Haram to flare up. So we should attend to our economic situation through banking system. And that
we need to rest it there. We want to thank you very much for coming on Weekend Deal. We need to thank you, Dr. David Aherivo, economics and financial analyst, forensic auditor, chartered accountant, and a retired senior manager of CBN, who says he will not go back to work full-time, but as a consultant, if you call on him, he will do the needful as a patriot. I want to thank our brother who is aspiring to be a senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you for being honest, for being prompt, for being open with us here on Weekend Deal. Ahmed Tamina Abubakar, who is the managing associate and consultant of Palance Law Office in Abuja. It's been great having your novel contributions to our package today. Susan is next. Patience, tell us about Susan. Susan is coming up with her package. Yeah, this is it.
Securing your bank account, essential tips for financial security. Susan, take it away.
In today's digital age, ensuring the security of your bank account is more important than ever. Let's explore essential tips to help you protect your finances from unauthorized access and fraudulent activities.
Having the number of your customer care, most times a lot of people think it's flex for big men. That big men just have, if you have one small problem in the bank, you can just call. Now, it's actually not a flex, because if you do transactions very often, apart from the safety angle, it's always a very important thing to have the number of the bank customer care, your account officer, and also someone that works in the bank that you know. First thing they will tell you is, if you want to be served in English, press 1. If you want to be served in Hausa, press 2. You cannot run from it. If you call any bank, they will always give you this option: English, Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa. Once you press any of the languages you are comfortable with, they are going to tell you, okay, so if it's a card-related problem, press 1. If it's this thing, press 2. To speak with an agent, press 3. So if it's a card-related problem, listen to it. Press what they tell you. To block your card for this thing, for dispense error, press this. For whatever the error is, you just press it, and in 2 minutes, that is done. It's advisable you don't use one number for all your banks. Because if they get that number, now you are using one number for your NIN, you use that same number for your BVN, you use that same number for 3 of your banks. and your wallet now lost, or somebody now steal your phone, somebody that has the technical knowledge, he will drain your account. It's just a matter of time. Sometimes they will call your number. If they have your BVN and your NIN, you can call your number and tell you, that this is from your bank. Wait. No bank will call you to ask you for OTP. That there's a code we just sent to you now. That is the biggest fraud. But a lot of people fall for it. They just call you and say, confirm this code now. And you just say, okay, 00411121. But once you just give out that code, that's the same way they hack into people's WhatsApp. Immediately you get that call your customer care and try and resolve it. If it's possible, change your ATM. If it's possible, change your ATM PIN. If you're using ATM, you also want to be looking behind you. Who is there? You just have to personally ensure that nobody has access to all these things. So if you are using multiple ATMs, you need to know the code. As a matter of fact, it's very important that you have the USSD code to do transfer, do recharge, and all of that. With that code, you can stop your ATM. It's always advisable that you have more than one bank account, 2, 3, 4 if possible, and you have ATMs. Please don't carry all those ATMs in one wallet. In fact, don't carry all those ATMs out. If you're going out, carry one of the ATM. Don't link all your bank accounts to one phone. That is like the ABC of financial safety. Because if that SIM card is gotten by a fraudulent person, one, he can just dial star something, get your NIN. He can dial star something, get your BVN. Once they have your BVN, have your NIN, and have the number that you use to register the bank, the account doesn't belong to you. So all they may need to do is just to get your full name and your date of birth, and every morning your account can go in one day. If you want to use passwords, don't use your date of birth. All these things are basic. You don't use your date of birth, because when somebody wants to guess your password, the first thing we try to put is first your phone number, then your password, your date of birth, and routinely change your password.
By following these essential tips, you can secure your bank account and safeguard your finances. Stay vigilant and be proactive in protecting your financial well-being.
Okay, welcome back. The fact that Nigerians need a more banking-friendly environment to operate, we can never overemphasize that. Now join the conversation is a young man. He is Obin Nwaka. He's a DG, Committee of Youth on Mobilization and Sensitization. Let's see his profile.
We welcome you to our studio, Obina.
Thank you very much.
We're asking ourselves and analyzing if Nigerians indeed are being shortchanged by financial institutions. So I know you are a customer, a client, and as you work harder, more resilient, upgrades here and there, what you're putting in the banking system is more. So it will pinch more. It's no longer 50 naira, 100 naira you're crying about. The amounts are getting huge. Obina, tell us, let's get serious now. Tell us now, from a patriot's point of view, let's look at what we've been discussing for the last 2 days about the surcharges, debits not being reversed on time and sometimes never ever for years, talking about regulatory system in the banking institutions, talking about living analog and going fully digital. We just heard from we just heard from Aminu now that perhaps small courts could be put in positions where people can bring their issues about banking. But I know that you are itching to give us solutions now or ideas. But Weekend Deal now is taking another break. Our last break on the show, our third break beckons, we'll take it.
Okay, welcome back. Before I went on the break, Thelma had asked Chief Obina some couple of questions, basically coming from the point of the customer.
Yeah.
What do you want from your bank? Answer it all together.
Okay, thank you very much, Weekend Deal, for having me. The question that she raised is a question that calls for public concern. Because me coming from the aspect of the young banker and also a customer as well that also has been interacting with young people. And before now, I must confess or let the public know that I've been receiving several calls from my colleagues from well-meaning Nigerians, especially the young people, that there should be a call for action irrespective of all these unsolicited charges from the banks, poor service to customers, and insecure banking system. So I just felt it is the right time for me to let Nigerians know what some of our banking institutions have been doing. They are not getting it right. First and foremost is that number one is this shortchanging or surcharging that we are all facing today did not just start. We live in a country, in a society whereby we so much believe in policies. Central Bank of Nigeria is a very big institution that regulates the services of the financial institutions that are under the purview of the NDIC. Now, this initiative that started since 2017, they went through several consultations with the banks before they now came up with all these ideas, the rates, and the kind of services that must also be given attention to. You understand? So in 2020, I think a circular was also released. A circular was released before 2020. A circular was released around December 2019. Then December 2020, January 20, on the 1st of January 2020, it takes effect immediately. Now, my argument, or what I'm not even happy with in that circular, is the time frame. Because if you want customers to pay for some certain services from being rendered to them by the financial institution, there must be a time frame for them to prepare their mind, for them to know whether they should keep their money in so bank or not. And if you look at the circular itself, the circular also reads that there must be a review as time goes on, from time to time, based on the current economic situation or the market environment. Now, what is the market environment they are talking about? I've been fortunate to also serve in a bank, Fidelity, when I was in university.
Oh, you did?
And I know, as in the plight and predicament of so many customers. What I'm trying to say, the services is poor. The security in the banking system in Nigeria is also poor. Having different branches in different states is not what we want for now. But securing our money is very important.
People have said that the bank charges are enormous. And for them to upgrade their services and give Nigerians what they need, these are the avenues they utilize to bring about those necessary things.
No. I want to argue with that fact, because even if you're living or you're dead, the bank will still be deducting money from you. Though this bank, if you have statistics of their customers that are
dead, from dead people?
Don't they trade with their money?
They do.
They trade with their money. Do they have statistics of the dead customers? They don't even have. Do they have statistics of the profile of customer they should be deducting on certain? I think it should be like a kind of grade by grade customers. The way you deduct
money from my own account or the services they render to me, the services may be the same, but the volume of the money is not the same. And the preferential treatment they give to customers in the bank is not also the same. So if you want to leverage it on those services, there will be crisis in the bank. The other day I was in one bank making effort to withdraw some amount of money that's not even up to ₦1 million. And I saw a customer that came with cash of over 40-something million naira. The services they gave to the customer is preferential, not the same services.
Yes. Okay, but in summation now, tell us, going forward, what would you, representing youths, what would you expect? In summary, tell us, going forward, what would you expect?
The way I want things to work in financial institutions is that our bank should be very sensitive when taking statistics. They should know the active customers and they should know the customers that now also exist in number one. So they will not continue to be trading people's money unnecessarily. Number two is that they should check the statistics of the customers. The people who will feel more concerned when they are deducting 15,000 naira from them, and the people that will not feel much concerned.
15 naira.
15 naira if they are making transaction, especially those people that are not even employed. Number two, they have the statistics of people that are also employed by the government. They can also help the government by ensuring that those people also pay their normal dues, because we live in a situation whereby some people, they don't even pay their taxes, and they are working, they are also benefiting from the taxes of common Nigerians who are not public service holders. So the banks can also join forces with the FIRS to make sure that the customers also pay their charge, they also pay their taxes. Then thirdly is that they should also not focus in on establishing so many branches in every nook and crannies. They should focus on securing the banks. And the kind of staff that they employ, the staff they are employing now in so many banks, many of them are Yahoo people.
Okay.
These are the people that are initiating avenues of deducting money from customers. And they know the active and non-active customers.
Can I ask you a question? Have you done your due diligence? You've done your research to see that people employed that Yahoo?
Recently, what happened in one financial institution, one bank? They say they caught somebody that had been deducting money from customers. They caught the person when the person has made billions of naira already. You know what? When you come to national television like this, if you refuse to tell Nigerians the truth, the lies will be biting us. And they don't know tomorrow if you are going to fall as a victim of circumstances.
We appreciate you, Dr. Obinna. You have spoke powerfully.
Thank you.
And the youths are glad that you're presenting them.
He's Chief Obinna, not Dr. Obinna.
DG, Committee of Youth on Mobilization and Sensitization. Always great to see you and hear your authentic discourse and your solutions for Nigerian youths. Okay, so go out there and keep defending the youth.
The banks are the accredited government institutions to keep your money. Don't keep your money at home. What you can do, shop for a bank that fits your needs. They have said it over and over. Why get a current account when you know that the charges of the current accounts are high? And then shop for banks. No, read out. Take your time to read what you need to fit your specification and the kind of businesses you do. We keep talking and we keep saving our money.
Dr. Dave also said that the CBN should put round pegs in round holes. Small courts can be formed in different locations where citizens can go and get justice. Okay, they also said the bank should go digital, no more analog. Go digital.
The POS system, please automate the POS system fully, because they have come to stay. They are going to patronize them. I mean, the ATM machines are not
effective monitoring of all the banks by the central bank. Okay, what's our last word? We're going now.
Okay, keep safe, do the right thing, and speak when there's a problem. We all need to speak out.
God bless Nigeria, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.